This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home.
His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali will be taking the services of the Office of the President to Region 3 on March 30 and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility. Come engage with President Ali and the staff of the Office of the President, representatives of government ministries, and Region 3 officials on March 30th and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility.
Pleasant good morning to those who are tuning in to our another episode of the Morning Wrap. First and foremost, I want to say thank you once again, and it's a pleasure being here, rapping with you this morning and every morning. Myself and my brother Cordell Jones. So this morning, my brother Cordell is going to be coming live from the Lenora Stadium, where there is the government's outreach, or I should say, the president's outreach to Lenora and the people of Region 3. So, with no further delay, let me just bring in my partner here live with me. Good morning, Cordell, and how are you this morning, brother?
Morning to you, Kevin, and morning to everybody out there in the Facebook world, everybody joining us online. Please share the live. I'm coming to you guys live from the Lenora Track and Field facility here in Region 3, where, as Kevin just said, His Excellency has brought the services of Office of the President and other agencies out here to the citizenry of Region 3.
Okay. So Cordell, I know this is something very exciting for the people of Region 3, and I can assure, or we can assure our viewers here and Guyanese in general that this is not only in Region 3, but this is going to be happening throughout the country. So,
Correct.
Cordell, could you say to us what are the expectations today? I mean, we already know. When I say we already know, is, or I should say, we already know what to expect,
Correct.
meaning that there are always great things for the people in whichever region he go, right? Whichever the region the president go, we always know what to expect. Something
Right.
good, and there's always a follow up, and then therefore the president and the government will deliver. But you
Yeah.
could share with us more in details what will be or what are out there today, so we can encourage our people, even from people out of Region 3 are definitely is going to be there today. I can assure you
Right.
that, right?
So we know that the president is a man of action. He has, as I said on the show yesterday, he hardly spends an entire day in office. He's always out on the ground, trying to get a feel of what is happening in the country. So today at the Lenora Track and Field Center, whilst the president's office is out here and staffers from his office are out here, there are also representatives from various ministries as well. So there's the Ministry of Education. I should say ministries and agencies. So the Ministry of Education is here. There are representatives from the Gold Program. There are representatives of the 150 Key Coding Initiative. There are representatives from NIS. There are recruitment agents from the Guyana Defense Force and the Guyana Police Force as well. There are housing representatives here. So there's a broad cross section of agencies and ministries that are out here today, so that persons in Region 3, all the way from Vreeden Hoop to Parika, or all the way on the West Bank side, going up to Wales, coming back down to Vreeden Hoop, this is your chance to meet with officials from Office of the President or heads of agencies to sort out whatever issues you may be having. I noticed there's also the National Registrar's Office here as well. They are looking after birth certificates and travel documents and those kind of things. So if you wanted to apply for a passport or renew or replace a birth certificate or anything of that sort, you can come down here. There are representatives from these agencies to take you through the paces and get that done. In the same vein, there has been a lot of development happening here in Region 3, road works, housing schemes, um, all sorts of things happening in the region. So the president was not too long ago in Denhamstel, where several concrete roads, the construction has started, rehabilitation works at the community center ground in that area. Um, and I think he visited a few more communities on this side. So today at Lenora, instead of going to one area, they picked a central location where everybody on the west side, once they have the time, they can come down, look into whatever issue may be having, and try to get that issue resolved.
Okay, okay. So, Cardell, I noticed you mentioned recruitment, right? Therefore, we're technically saying that there will be job opportunities out there as well, right?
Most definitely.
And that is something around the world. We heard or we will hear people crying about jobs. People need jobs, and I can remember from the first month in office, when the PBPC administration would have taken up office, there was a big cry for job opportunities, and then they attacked the government of the APNU attacked the government of firing people from their jobs, and where is the 50,000 jobs and all these things, right? And it takes me back. It takes me back to I think it's what they were claiming that over 2,000 persons were fired. But
Mm.
one of the facts that we have to bring to the public's attention and to the world attention, I can guarantee you, Cordell, 90% of those persons that were fired were first, they were not eligible and they were not qualified for those positions. Secondly, those persons as well were political appointees in government ministries and offices, and these persons were more so placed there to do government's job, right?
Correct.
And meaning on a political end, most of these persons were not professional, and that is one of the breakdown in the system, in the public service system, and that is why people could not have received the quality service that would have been expected of them, because most of these persons were underqualified. Most of these persons did not understand how to operate in a public office, because why, they were political appointees. But now
Right.
you having the opportunity here, I know that um, this has been eliminated, because I hardly hear people crying about jobs now. To be honest,
Well, you
I'm
see,
hardly hearing that.
the government, upon coming into office, executed a well laid out plan as it relates to one, stimulating the economy and encouraging investment, encouraging locals to go back into the various sectors and make investments to create employment. Um, Outside of that, government has been um, bolstering these regions, especially in sectors that would have suffered mainly under the coalition and further under COVID 19 by supporting communities with various grants to make sure that there is still cash flow in these areas so that business could be conducted. Another thing the government has done is to implement the part time jobs program, which has allowed young people, old people, people who probably never had a job before in their life, housewives, you understand, to have some
Mhm.
sort of employment, have some sort of income to put towards their home. And we see that government is keen on engaging the people in relation to how they can better serve them. So, whilst they would have created all those avenues there, they looked at the sugar industry, especially over here in Wales, where they would have closed down that estate and they were going to sell it off as scrap. It was a good thing that the government, through the guidance of our the general secretary of the PPPC, and now our president, Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, they were able to maneuver to save what could be saved of that facility. And in other cases, they are, well, I should say, save the facility at uh, Rose Hall, but Wales, because of what was already done there, they implemented a new plan, which will be the Gas to Shore project, that will create thousands of jobs in Region 3 itself, in that Wales area and across Region 3, and create more economic value in this region. And the big picture of it all, cutting the cost of electricity by half. And that will have a major impact on all sorts of things in this region and across the country, Kevin.
Cordell, I when I listen to all these things, it takes me back on the political end to say that the PPPC government um, coming out of office in 2015 can be considered as a blessings in disguise for them and the supporters. You know
Yeah,
why? You know why I said so? It gives them the time to recuperate and understand, and to also see where the missing pieces were, and how to fit them together.
right,
And that is why I saw the vice president, um, Barjagdio, from 2015 to 2020, he was on the ground all the time, because he understand where the loopholes was, and where need to be filled. And
correct.
therefore, for a government that served for 23 years, then take a 5 years rest, I consider the 5 years rest and then come back, brother. That is a very big task for any opposition who wants to go into government. Because why? 5 years of time to fix the issues was a lot of time, right? And now, when a government would have taken back after 5 years, prior to 23 years, brother, that's a real hard task for any government to take up. And I believe that this will be not only the next 23 years, but it can be doubled. You understand? Because
Definitely.
the pace that this government is going with, the pace that the PPPC administration and the Irfan Ali administration, and better yet, we have never seen. We must give credit to our vice president, who served as one of the greatest presidents of this country. But with the pace Irfan Ali is going right now, President Irfan Ali, brother, I want to see the president after him, because a lot of persons underestimated Dr. Irfan Ali, right?
Yes,
They
yes, yes.
underestimated him, but now we have seen, from the beginning, he was like now grooving in, and trust me, the opposition took advantage of that, and they tried to tackle, but now we have seen that he would have transformed into a whole different president. We've seen a president on the ground. We ain't seen a president on a cardboard to post up and take a picture. We seen a
So that
president on
that
the
that
ground.
is an important thing that you said there, Kevin. This is not a cardboard president. As you would know, there were not many events like these held under the previous administration. Um, when they were held, it was about the red carpets rolling out, all the fancy food and drinks. And at the end of the day, the issues raised by citizens of this country were not addressed. So,
Exactly,
what we
exactly.
have now is a president who is interested in hearing what citizens have to say, along with sharing his government's plan for these citizens, and then integrating the two, the government's plans and the needs of the citizens, to come up with a holistic plan for Guyana and moving Guyana forward. So we see a lot of infrastructure development, we see a lot of advancements in education, we see advancements in ICT. Where I'm sitting here right now, this facility was constructed under the PPPC, right? And this facility has been advancing football, it has been advancing track and field, and advancing various disciplines within this region. Persons in the past would have had to travel all the way to Georgetown to access, um, and there's no synthetic track in Georgetown. This is the synthetic track facility. They're also now building one in Linden there at the basin. What's the right name for it?
Bayrock, the Bayrock ground.
Bayrock, the Bayrock ground there. So that's another synthetic track that's going to be at that facility. And this here is to bolster what is already here in Lenora. Now, you know very well, Linden produces a lot of top athletes. Now, those athletes will be able to hone those skills right in that region to represent us at Olympics and the various track and field events that happen around the world. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a new mall that has gone up here in Lenora, a new hospital that has gone up here in Lenora, and that shows investor confidence in this administration. Persons are willing to invest money into an economy that is being run by this administration. They see that things are moving forward, they see that things are developing, they see that persons are generally happy. Persons are able to own homes. Persons are able to buy a vehicle, buy a motorcycle, even an electric bike if they want. You understand? Because money is circulating. Money is
Exactly.
circulating. You understand?
Exactly.
Do you know how many persons appreciate those part-time jobs?
A lot,
You know,
a
is
lot.
it to have nothing and then you're finally getting something, knowing fully well that you might not be um the highest qualified person, but your government has made an avenue for you to get something. You understand? So if you're qualified in IT, you fall in the IT department at a RDC or at a school or something. If you're not qualified, uh, you can be a handyman at a health center. You could be a cleaner at a health center. You understand? There's so many options available through that part-time job program, and as the government advances that again this year to further employ more persons, um, all I could say is hats off to them and keep up the good work.
Mhm. You know, one of the thing is, Cordell, comparing, if we should compare, or then we should compare the previous administration to the present administration. Now, when I would have heard the cries of persons saying that, look, man, you're doing things in only this region and this region, and then you would hear these ministers and even the president said, oh gosh, it's only 5 years we got and we can't do everything. Give me another 5 years. Were that a political gimmick? Because now it would have proven to the population, it would have proven to Guyana now that that was just a lame excuse. Because
Right.
in 2.5 year, half term already in government, the government would have touched in every single region of Guyana, and there is some form of development, and not only farm, there are forms of development in every 10 administrative region. And
Correct.
that is when you have that is when you have an active government. That is when you have ministers who are prepared to be on the ground. Sometimes it's hard to recognize who are the ministers and who are the people, because those ministers are out in the mix. They with the spades and shovel in their hand, and they're getting
Right.
involved,
Right.
right?
Right.
And this is what I believe that we as a people want to see. We want to find a government where we all can work together, where we all can hold hands together, and we can do together. We don't want a government to demand us and 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 bully us and tell us this is how it must be done. We want a government to show us how it must be done, and that is what we have. We even see the president out in the streets in the cleanup campaign, and these are things that makes a difference. These are things that would have eliminated all the negativities being peddled by the opposition. Because why? You are trying to compare what you would have done to what is being done now, and there is nothing of comparison. There is nothing to show that you could actually match up to what is happening on the ground now. You know?
Right. So you cannot compare, you cannot equate, you cannot even put them on the same table. Our last president and our current president are in no way, shape, or form in the same league. Now, if this was 2015 to 2020, this would have been a period where I probably would have had a cardboard behind me, you understand me, of the president.
Yeah.
When during that time, you saw David Granger walking through a community, interacting with people, finding out what is bothering them, right? Anytime any reporter or anybody catches him to ask him something about a ministry, about development in the country, or anything whatsoever, he usually says, I have somebody for that, go and check with them. But I'm saying, as the president, whilst you have a minister and a ministry, you said, no, you all are in the cabinet. You understand? It's all one agenda you guys are pushing. So I like the fact that the president is very engaged. The president is on the ground, meeting with persons, finding out what the issues are, and addressing them directly, so that persons feel there's a personalized touch in relation to how the government interacts with them, and there's not this detachment to say, well, oh, I can't talk to my elected officials. I can't go and meet that minister, or I can't go and talk to the president, or the president can just send me to somebody else. They have many occasions where the president, the vice president, the prime minister, the ministers, in cases where they can intervene right
Mhm.
away to bring about change, it is done. It is done.
Exactly.
You understand? So I was even wanted to mention the other day with the housing ministry, when we were talking about housing the other day. Um, the ministers are always there at these outreach, at the Dream Realize activities, so that, let's say, somebody's applying for a house lot, they're going through the process and there's a snag. The minister there, the CEO for CHMPA there, everybody's there, all everybody there. So whatever the issue is, you fix it and you move forward. You understand? So again, I want to encourage persons in Region 3 to seize this opportunity, come out to the Lenora Track and Field Ground. Like I said, there are many agencies and ministries here: the Ministry of Education, the 150K Coder Initiative. I see the Goal Online Learning Academy of Learning. There's the registrar's office in terms of if you need to get a birth certificate or any document of that sort. Um, who else did I see here? There's the Ministry of Housing as well. There is the Guyana Police Force and the Guyana Defense Force, who have set up booths to do recruiting. So persons who are interested in employment, you can come here and apply for the Guyana Police Force. I see Minister Indar is arriving, within the Ministry of Public Works. So definitely, persons in their communities can raise issues about infrastructure, bridges, roads, that you feel need to get done, city fence, and that kind of thing. Um, who else is here? Housing is here. Now they're just across from this facility. There's a new housing scheme being constructed just across from this facility. And Kevin, whilst we were talking about housing the other day, I mentioned the coalition government only shared out about 7,000 house lots, just over 7,000 house lots in three schemes in one region, right? So this area here, um, I think the 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 commissioner of police is arriving as well. Uh, Commissioner Clifton Hicken is arriving as well here. I saw the head of the GDF arrive. I see the head of the GLDA is here. So, farmers and persons who are interested in rearing animals and things can get some assistance too. So, you know, back to my point, I got thrown off there a little bit. But
Yeah.
as I was saying, there's a housing scheme going up right across the road from this facility under this administration, right? There's an extension of the Parafate area. There's the road that will be a bypass from the main West Bank, West Coast Road. Uh, I think coming out at Schooner there for persons to access Parafate and those communities in the back there. So there's a lot of development happening across Region 3. And this is an opportunity for residents in this area to come out and let government know what else they want to happen if they're pleased with what is going on currently, and to just give feedback to the government so that they know if they're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, and how they can move forward.
Exactly, exactly. So, Cordell, based on what is outlined there of the various boots of ministries and agencies,
And Kevin, sorry, and
Mhm,
that is aside from the president's office staff who are
exactly,
here to deal with issues across the board. And there are
exactly.
other booths as well that I have not been able to gauge which agency they are from. But
Mhm.
trust me, p- persons are out here to help, and persons should come out and take advantage of it.
Exactly, exactly. So Cordell, there's a lot to expect out there today. And then apart from that, there's a lot of things that is happening around the country still. Apart from that, there's a lot of outreaches around the country as well. And
Right.
here we go again. You can say technically we can say we can't find no minister in office right now because why? Everybody's out in the field doing
Right.
something. Everybody's working for their monies, right?
Correct.
Unlike the opposition, right?
Just
They,
collecting
they,
money and spending
they
it.
just imagine they don't even want to go to parliament and they get their money. Just imagine that. So,
Oh
um,
man.
this is something good for the people of Guyana, and the person need to get out there today and exhaust the opportunities. Apart from that, Cordell, let's not forget to mention that today at 2 o'clock, our vice president will be having a press conference as well.
Yes. Yes.
So, for
Yes.
persons who are not out there, take the opportunity to tune into that and ensure that you grab all information that is needed because
Right.
like the vice president would have said, let us utilize these platforms for good purposes. Let us utilize these platform for information sake, and not only information but the accurate information, so people cannot be misled. And bro, right now, what is going on here and what is going on in these outreaches and social media, where the government and the people of Guyana, like you and myself who are on here now, it is technically piece by piece eliminating and completely wiping out the propaganda being peddled by the opposition.
So
And
what I wanted to say, Kevin, what
yeah,
what I've noticed with some of the programs, especially coming out of the opposition now, there's hardly anything for them to talk about the government, right?
exactly.
So they'll nitpick at some fine things. But if you look at Sherrod's program, Sherrod is bouncing around the region and around the world, highlighting issues that are not Guyanese, right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
he's going to jump on something and sensationalize it uh, locally. Then he's going to jump Trinidad, Jamaica, Barbados, US, France, all sorts of nonsense, right?
Mhm,
Then
mhm.
come back to Guyana, where he does not have anything to talk about, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Look at all that has happened in 2 years and change. You have a completed connection from Mandela to Eccles. The one from Ogle to Eccles has started. The Eccles to Providence to Friendship or Diamond completed. You understand me? You have
Mhm.
housing schemes going on. They brought back the because we care. There, there's nothing that persons are out there complaining about. No, you're gonna might find somebody complaining about prices at the market or prices at the supermarket.
Mhm.
The government doesn't control the market price. The
Mhm.
government
Mhm.
doesn't send out a memo to farmers or retailers at the markets to say charge this much for border or charge this much for pak choy. Those persons determine their cost based on their expenses to produce it. You understand?
Exactly.
So when the government looks at the issues that they can deal with and the things that they can affect change with, the things that are within their control to affect change, and they do that, persons are benefiting. So when you listen to some of the complaints person have, it's not really a government problem. You understand me? Whilst government has an interest in resolving that problem, it's not a government created problem. You understand me?
Mhm.
So government doesn't create flooding. Government didn't create the war in Ukraine. Government
Mm,
didn't create the shipping issue. Government didn't create COVID-19. And all these other external factors that would have influenced prices in Guyana and caused things to rise. Government doesn't control GAFUs or national hardware to say when you import this, sell it for this price. You
mm.
understand me? So persons need to realize that and realize the difference between um, things that government can do and things that government can't do, and realize what the government is doing for you, and that is important.
Corley, one of the most hypocritical thing I've seen of those Facebook journalists, so-called Facebook journalists of the opposition, when you spoke about food prices and so on, I would see them some time and time, and they cussing down the government at the high food prices, knowing very well that the government don't have control over that. But then again, the same persons you're seeing on other posts, they're talking about, oh, this is a world crisis because of the Ukraine war. America and
Right,
Canada, the prices are
right,
so they are well aware of these things. And some of them who complain right here in Guyana here are just mentally lazy, like their own colleague would have said to them. Right? Some of these people have their own backyards and they're not even, putting down something in the soil. And let me
right,
tell you something. I support the farmers, Cordell, because why? I know what farming is like, and it's a very hard task. And most of the time, the actual farmers themselves do not get the real benefit out of it. It's always the middleman when they take it out there and they sell
exactly.
it at a skyrocket
Jack up,
price.
jack up the price to
So,
ridiculous
I
cost.
would take this opportunity to encourage farmers to get out there yourself and sell your produces where you would sell it at a better, even a better prices where you would also benefit, right?
Right,
So persons, stop complaining, put something down in the soil. The government, only the other day, I received a whole big bag of various seeds, right? And I'm talking about quality seeds. And this is also an initiative through the
of the
Ministry of
ministry,
Agriculture,
and that's the
right?
thing too. Persons, I feel like people don't take the opportunity to find out what is available to them.
Exactly,
Right?
exactly.
The Ministry of Agriculture has been giving out seeds, all sorts of stuff, free of cost. Free of cost. You understand? That you could start your own kitchen garden, your own small farm, or whatever it is. But it's cases where either somebody doesn't know, or in other cases, persons are encouraged not to take that help. And I don't understand why. This is not
Exactly.
anything you're spending money on. This is something that will benefit you and your family. If you
Hmm,
got
hmm.
a couple of beds of stuff in your yard, you don't think they're gonna take down your monthly food bill, or the
Exactly.
fact that you probably gotta go to the market every week is less stuff you're gonna be buying. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one of the things I don't understand about the opposition when they encourage persons not to take advantage of opportunities. Now, when you tell somebody don't take a gold scholarship or don't come to this outreach to get whatever issue they need to get fixed, or whatever in that vein, let's say, God forbid, this government loses the next election. That's more work for you to build those persons back up to the level where you want them to be, for you to continue moving forward. So
Hmm,
it's like the opposition, they don't care about continuity. You understand me? It's like,
hmm.
don't benefit anything from this government. Whether it be good, just don't take anything. And I
Hmm.
remind people, during that time when the PVP was in opposition, the vice president said on many occasions, whatever they're giving to you, you collect it. You
Exactly.
collect it. Whatever they're giving to you, you collect it. Because it's the government, you're a citizen and you deserve it. That's your right. You collect it. You
Exactly.
understand?
Exactly.
So persons need to be aware. Agriculture giving out seeds, they're giving out advice, um, all sorts of things. All sorts of things. All you have to do is make yourself aware and fall into benefit.
Exactly. But Cordell, we must give a shout out to our viewers as well. I know we haven't done that so far.
Right.
I want to take the opportunity to say good morning to all our viewers. We have people like Soma Bipat, Jean Cornelius, and our very own Sally Jones, Pam
Morning,
Singh.
Sally. Morning, Sally. Morning to Stanley Hamilton. and I think it's Gilbert Pearson. Those guys,
Mhm.
they're always on my page sharing information, making sure that the information gets out there to persons. And if anyone you guys are on the west side, come on down here today at the Lenora Track and Field facility and meet the president, meet the ministers, meet these agency representatives, and get your issues sorted out. There's no area that you could say is 100% perfect. There's no community that you could say they don't want something, they don't want some aspect of development. Even if something happened there yesterday, tomorrow they're looking for something else. And that's
Exactly.
okay. That's okay.
Exactly.
The PPC government is here to deliver that to you. So all you need to do is to make the government aware. And the government, and too, it has to be something holistic that a large portion of the population will benefit.
With benefit
Um,
from. Exactly.
they'll take that under consideration to make sure that whatever it is implemented. You understand?
Mhm.
Government has always been trying to implement initiatives to make the process of interactions with government agencies easier, quicker, so persons aren't as frustrated. The lines at housing I maintain have come down tremendously, Kevin.
Mm-mm.
Tremendously.
Yep. Yep.
You understand what I mean? And that is due to proper leadership. You have two ministers there that looked at a system, saw what wasn't working, fixed it, saw what was working, and said, hey, we could use this, let's move forward. And that's the difference
Essentially.
between the two. When you look at the APNU, AFC, PNC, and you look at the PPPC, they're more interested in building holistically and a national thing.
Mhm.
If the PNC, AFC, APNU look at things, they look at who built it, what area, and all sorts of nonsense. So
Exactly.
that's
Exactly.
the difference between the two for me, and that says a lot.
And that is where they try to use the race game, right? That is where they try to try to compare and bring in the race game, which is their only line of defense. So guys, like again, we are urging those on the west side, and even though people like I said, for the people from in and out of Georgetown would definitely be there today, and I can see that there will be a massive turnout.
So
Um,
what I want to do as well is to just give you guys a better view of what's going on. So I'm gonna come.
you're on mute, Cordell. You're on mute.
Yeah, so you guys could have a better idea of what is actually taking place here. So I'm just gonna flip the camera a bit. So right here we have the main tent where the main meeting is going to be happening. They have several persons here from the various president agencies, the various agencies. So you can see there's a section here for the Ministry of Labor as well. The media is set up to the front and to the back here, and we're gonna go through and take a look at some of the booths, the booths that are going to be here today. So as you can see, everything is set up already. We're waiting as persons continue, and as you can see, persons are here already
Yeah,
from
yeah, we can see persons
uh,
lined up here
the
already. They're very
region.
early.
So these persons are from Region 3 who are here to air whatever grievance they have. And it might not even be a case of having a grievance. They just want to find out what's happening in their area in terms of development and what's on the cards for them, right? So I didn't mention this. I see the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security. Again, the Ministry of Agriculture is here as well. Um, and persons, representatives from these agencies. I see the head of the CHNPA, Mr. Greaves, is here from housing. So definitely, if you have housing issues, you can come down here today and have those issues addressed by the relevant authorities. As I said, persons from the GDF, the Chief of Staff is here. The Ministry of Human Services and Social Security, the WIN program, all of that. You can apply for those initiatives here. Everything is all set up and waiting for persons from the region to come in and to be a part of the program. Uh, this is the Ministry of Agriculture, as I would have said earlier. Representatives from GLDA, NARI, all those persons will be here to look into issues relating to farming and those kinds of things. We have persons from NIS here as well too. So if you have any NIS issues over here in Region 3, you can come down and have those issues dealt with or look into by the team down here at uh, the Lenora ground from the National Insurance Scheme. Over here, as I said before, there's the Guyana Defense Force. They're currently recruiting. They are ranks from the Guyana Police Force here as well. They're meeting with their commander, I guess, before they deploy for the activities here today. I think they will be doing some recruiting as well. There is also, like I said, Minister Indar is here, Minister Ashni Singh, um, representatives, the head of Go Invest is here as well. This here, I think, is the Ministry of Public Works booth. So they'll be looking into those matters in relation to public works. I see representatives from GPL here as well. That falls under their purview. And I think the Office of the Prime Minister as well. Uh, so this area is Immigration Support Services Department from the Ministry of Home Affairs. So again, like I said, various ministries, various agencies, the General Registrar's Office is here with their CEO, birth certificates, marriage license and things like that they can get done. Ministry of Public Service, they're here also as well. Ministry Tourism is here. The coders, 150 coders, Guyana, they're here. That is something, if persons are interested, they can get involved in the Gold Program. The head of the Gold Program is here, Mr. Opadai is here as well, and representatives from the Ministry of Education. So, as I was saying, it's a full house here.
You mute, Cordell.
Yeah, there's a full house here today at the Lenora Track and Field facility. All these agencies are out here in support of His Excellency and his initiative of having this outreach in Region 3 to listen to the needs of the residents in this region. So again, I'm inviting persons to come down to the facility to take part, raise whatever concerns you may have. It might just be a case of you saying, hey, you did a good job in my community. They'd love to hear it as well. So come out, be a part. There are various ministries from agriculture to education, to human services and social protection, housing, all these ministries, and all these ministries have active programs that you can be a part of. So, that's what's going on down here at the ground right now.
Well, Cordell, based on what we've seen there is that there are numbers of opportunities out there to have certain concerns and issues to be rectified. Basically, I'm technically seeing all of the ministries out there, so persons need to get themselves equipped to get out there, ensure that you walk with your relevant documents, your ID card, your passport, your birth certificates. If you don't have also, those things can be rectified out there as well.
Yeah.
So I can see this initiative, which I'm sure that this will be happening around the country. I can see that this initiative it's going to make an impact, and it will definitely make an impact in the various regions. So persons definitely need to get out there, and so let us make this a success for you in your relevant communities, regions, and let us move forward working together. So Cordell, things like this, again, this creates even more brick wall for the opposition, because now we're talking about going into local government elections, and this would definitely make an impact, because now persons can see that, look, this government is the government that we want. This is the government that we need. This is the
Correct.
government that is working for the people, and therefore persons need to be very much cognizant of what is happening around them. So when they go to that polling booth on June 12th, you know where to place your X, and your X is only for the People's Progressive Party Civic.
And
And
that's the thing, Kevin. In relation to local government elections, has the opposition been in these areas to see what is lacking in these communities? I mean, you're going to ask these people to vote for you on June 12th, to give you control of NDCs and things like that. But are you aware of what are the issues affecting persons in these areas? Have you
exactly,
been reaching out? And probably in some cases, could we even consider, because this might be region 3, and some might say it might be predominantly Indo-Guyanese, that's why probably the opposition is not here, or looking into the issues affecting persons here, or upgrades that persons might want to be happening in their communities. Why don't we see them in these areas? And in their time in office, do we have any record of them actually reaching out in these areas, and how often, and when they did, if they did, what was the change that was affected? What was done? What is there to show?
exactly. Now, Cordell, last night I was in receipt of uh, a document. I won't say a document, an article which was issued by another propaganda machine of the Apnuli Damraro wave, where they're trying to create a hostile environment, tense environment, by saying to persons that this came through the American embassy. What they're asking persons to leave Guyana, and they're trying to create a tense environment to say that on June 12th there will be some sort of unrest in the country that will continue. Um, we want to take this opportunity here to say to our supporters, our followers, and supporters and members of the People Progressive Party and Guyanese in general, that they would not be anything of such. I can assure you, we can assure you that the government already have systems in place for anybody who feel they can block the process of democracy in Guyana. All right. So people need to be aware. Don't let these people intimidate you. It's a
Mm.
tactic that they use all the time to mess with the minds of people, to distract persons from going out and exercise their rights of voting. And people should not be distracted. June 12th, everything is going to be, we can assure that everything is going to be clear and firm on the ground. So do not be distracted by these propaganda that they're trying to put out there to distract the local government election June 12th. But what
Well,
on your end, Cordell?
Kevin, I've known Dennis Shibral for some time. I have not known him to be somebody who sensationalizes things. So even if that circular came out from the U.S. Embassy, they have a way of um how do you say, looking out for their own. So they have teams that are here in relation to uh American law enforcement. And these intelligence agencies, they have their ear to the ground. So they would have heard Agunce's statements. They probably monitor David Hines and his Politics 101 program. So they hear the rhetoric, the divisive language, the hatred that is spewed by these individuals. So out of precaution, they would generally um warn their citizens who are here. You understand? So that's not anything new. But what Guyanese need to realize is that, or need to be cognizant of, is that this is all they have to go on. Why
Exactly.
don't they go to their supporters and say, come out in your numbers and support us and vote for us so we could beat them? Why are we going to unrest and day of resistance and all this nonsense, which would either lead to pushing Guyana 10 steps backward whilst we're making steps forward, and destroy the image of this emerging oil and gas economy. And with all the things that are happening in Guyana's favor, that would just tarnish the reputation that we are building for ourselves across the world as a third world country trying to move up the ladder. So this is I keep saying this over and over. This is all the opposition has to go on. There are so many positive things happening around the country that even if so let me give you an example. Now in the Providence area, there is uh there is housing schemes going up. There is the expansion of the roads, drainage works, highway, all that stuff passing through there. And back to Sherrod's show in the ring, he plays a video that a citizen would have recorded a bridge which was being reconstructed or whatever, and the citizen felt that there was old wood there or whatever it was. Now, in the video, the citizen was saying that this could be a case where the government actually don't know this contractor doing foolishness. You understand me? But somebody need to look into this. Now, that is what Sherrod chose to highlight. This is not a concrete bridge or a major bridge entering a community. It's just an access bridge. One of them regular wooden access bridges. So, in my view, I was thinking, with all that going on around there, all the development that you're seeing there, right? Whilst this is important to highlight, you are lamenting on this like that bridge there is the only construction that's happening in the area, and bear stripping is going on with it. Now, mind you, I'm maintaining that this could be a contractor that's doing foolishness. But Minister Indar, Minister Edgel, Rodriguez or Kroll or Darmlal or whoever the responsibility would fall under, they're not out there every day checking to see what the contractor do, checking the material, checking to see if he bring the right amount. You understand? The citizens are there. So if the citizen highlights something, instead of we look at it as, all right, we catch somebody laughing here, let me fix it. You're going on like, oh yeah, the thief in the money. That's what our taxpayer money spending on. No, it's spending on the 4-lane road that going from Mandela Straight to Diamond. That's what it's spending on. It's spending on the extension that coming from Ogle to Eccles. You understand me? That's what it is being spent on. It's spending on them housing schemes that providing subsidized lots for residents in the regions around the country. It's spending on the Because We Care grant to give to the children. It's spending on the food that being provided on at schools during the day. You understand me? So those are some of the things that is, Kevin, I was trying my best not to think about these people, but the logic and the fact that you were there. When Sherrod was there, Sherrod, the concern was but cheers set at Chronicle and spending up the people's money.
And not forgetting to mention our newly constructed bridge, or a newly bridge that will be constructed across the Damara River, or newly harbor bridge, right?
You realize that project is so far ahead. The persons are in the river doing the surveying work for where the piles have to be, or I think it's a suspended bridge. It's not going to be touching the river, but
Yeah.
I guess where the suspension points will be, they set up on the west side over here in terms of a facility to house materials in terms of sandstone or whatever they need to make the access points to the bridge. So these things are moving forward. And mind you, this bridge is coming off the heels of a sole source consultancy for a 3-lane stupidness to go across the Demerara. And that they were so proud of. 3 lanes. 3 lanes. How that making sense, brother? What sense it making? You understand? 3 lanes. So from going to a point where we had no real guidance or leadership, no real vision or policy or plan, to and Kevin, persons are aware and persons are seeing, and they know the time span in this short space of time, two
Mhm.
years and change. So many things start and finish.
Exactly,
Start
exactly.
and finish. The opposition completed a couple of PVP projects that were left over. You understand me?
Exactly.
I guess they're getting ready. The president probably is on his way. So,
Mhm.
a couple of those projects that they could not even complete. You
Exactly.
understand me? So the PVP comes into power. Build new housing scheme, build new 4-lane highway, they building stadium in Region 6. They provide part-time jobs. They provide back into farms. They provide back into fisher folks. COVID-19 back in, flood relief back in. I mean, Kevin,
Exactly.
Kevin,
Exactly. But
what more you
Cornell,
want from the people?
Cornell, you mentioned about the Chronicle man. It's Chronicle, right?
Yeah, he will
The
chronicle.
Chronicle man. You have to we have to understand that this man is working on the pockets of their foreign funders who are funding them. So you have to go out in the field to find something, and he has to criticize it, however, because you can remember the last time the man begged him money for his birthday party.
$1,
One
$2,
dollar,
whatever you could afford,
anything you
wherever
got.
it is, anything. Cash App, Zelle, Western Union. You remember? And this is what this freaked me out about this party. Remember these people? This is before they had the divorce or the alleged divorce. This guy been trolling George Norton on his show. He's like, is there
Exactly.
like certain people who get banned from Western Union? You could send money to me still. I bro. These people,
Well, yeah,
unreal.
the end of the show, he's got, we could put with every problem. So let me be we we could get a segment especially for them.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we gotta deal with them, right?
But I just want persons to know that I will be streaming the outreach live from my page, Comrade Cordell Jones. So if you guys want to tune in after this to hear what the president, the ministers have to say, to listen to some of the concerns raised by residents in Region 3. And that's one of the things about this government, Kevin. The transparency is loud. So it's not a case where they only go live for the sections where the government is talking and you're hearing all the good stuff. They stay live to listen to the concerns of residents, to hear what they have to say, even if they're abusing about something, even if they're set up by the coalition to come out to these events where persons are looking to better themselves and the surroundings of the community. They still allow you to express yourself. Remember, Guyana is a free country. You understand me? Only at the coalition you can't speak freely. Only there. So, if you guys are interested in hearing government's plan, hearing what the citizens of Region 3 have to say, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, tune in to Comrade Cordell Jones, share the live, and you guys can keep up to date with what's happening here at the Lenora Ground all day.
All right, so Cordell, once again, well, I see our time is up, and therefore we want to take this opportunity once more to encourage persons of Region 3, and even by extent the close by communities, to get out there, and ensure that your issues and concerns are being addressed within the relevant ministries and authorities, and let us make this happen. So,
Right.
anything in closing, Cordell, before we close?
Once again, if you are in Region 3, whether it be Perica, Wales, Reed and Hoop, the place to be today is at the Lenora's track and field ground. The president, his office, various ministries, various agencies. There's the Guyana Police Force who is doing recruiting. So there's a this gold program where you can come and register to get upgrade your education. Come out here, take advantage of the opportunities. Even for the farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture is out here. The black belly sheep are here, people. So GLDA is breeding so that we'd have enough to shear out and that kind of thing. So come find out about the black belly sheep. Come find out about aquaculture, brackish water shrimp. What are the possibilities of you doing that kind of thing here in Region 3? You understand? Find out about these initiatives, how they can benefit you, and what the government has to offer to you, the citizenry of Region 3, and by extension, Guyana.
Cordell, when you said the black belly sheep are there, I was just going to tell you turn the camera so at least I could see two of them. But I get to realize
The black belly sheep, they're not here. They're in the country. They're in the country. But the persons who are looking after the breeding process to make sure that we have enough, they are here. So they could let you know about them, and you could decide if you want to get involved.
It's good to have you clarify this, because the opposition is going to say Cordell said the black belly sheep are on the street.
We got no sheep here, nothing of the sort. What is here? Information, and the necessary information to help improve the lives of Guyanese, whether you be a professional, whether you be a farmer, whether you be a technical person, whether you be nothing at all and you're trying to make something yourself. This is the place to be, especially in Region 3 here today, and make sure you benefit from government's plans, programs, and initiatives.
Okay, guys. So this is another segment of our morning wrap with myself and Cordell Jones. So in closing, once more, we want to thank those who would have taken up the time and their precious time to be here on this program this morning and every other morning. We want to thank you so much once again. So in closing, this is it for me, Cordell.
Take care. Remember, I'll be live from the lower round on my profile. Peace. One Guyana.
His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali will be taking the services of the Office of the President to Region 3 on March 30 and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility. Come engage with President Ali and the staff of the Office of the President, representatives of government ministries, and Region 3 officials on March 30th and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility. His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali will be taking the services of the Office of the President to Region 3 on March 30 and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility. Come engage with President Ali and the staff of the Office of the President, representatives of government ministries, and Region 3 officials on March 30th and 31st from 8 a.m. at the Lenora Track and Field facility.
This is Quincy Anderson. You know I love my country. There's no other country better than mine. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Hey, Guyana is nice, Guyana is fun, Guyana is clean, Guyana is green, Guyana got oil, Guyana got gold, Guyana got young and Guyana got old. I ain't talking no more. Guyana got things, we growing wings and developing things. The government real and that's a big deal. I'm singing from my heart, Guyana. I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. Welcome to Guyana, land of 6 races, 6 different faces, and we all live in love. Guyana is a beautiful country, no other can compare. Got everything right here, so no other can compare. Guyana is made up of so many natural resources. We don't need no forces, cause we got enough resources. Let's talk about bauxite, gold, diamond, and rice. We got it right here. Guyana ain't going nowhere. We got enough oil too. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home. One Guyana, I love Guyana. Guyana, my country, my home. The only place I call home.